Had to get that out of my system. Hello folks, shintigercurl here, that dude in the straw hat, bringing you yet some more wrestling talk. And if it isn't clear by the awkward intro that I just did, there's some big news that happened tonight. Even though it was kind of spoiled by the Ascension earlier, it was revealed that Luke and Butch, the Bushwhackers, would be inducted into this year's Hall of Fame. Didn't expect it, but I'm glad that they're getting it in there. I love the Bushwhackers. Did not know they were 26-time world champions. Never knew that. But anyway, it's Raw. It's the fallout from the last pay-per-view before WrestleMania, Fastlane. What can you say about this one? But anyway, Randy Orton comes out to a massive pop, because he's Randy Orton, and he wants to beat the shit out of Seth Rollins. The Authority comes out with Sexy Power Stephanie McMahon, who pleads with him because she just wants another slice of that Apex Predator poon. You could see her drooling like, Randy, please come back to the Authority. Please, I'll make it worth your while. But yeah, they decide to have a little powwow session where Randy agrees to come back to the Authority, even though he visibly hates Seth Rollins. And to cement their status as the Authority, they decide to have a tag team match pitting Roman Reigns and Daniel Bryan against Seth Rollins and Randy Orton. And like my good friend Dead X-Man was pointing out, every time they kept bringing up the fact that they were going to work together, I keep hearing this theme song in my head. Trust me. I don't know, that's just how I feel about it. But anyway, there were a smattering of matches, a few I remember, others that I just want to forget. One primarily that I did not like was the fact that Emma and Paige got buried by the fucking Bellas. I want to vomit, but there wouldn't be enough vomit. In order for me to accurately portray my disgust at this, would be if I were to vomit right now, go back in the kitchen, eat a bunch of food, vomit again, then go to the neighbor's house, get more food, and vomit again. That's how much I hated this. The match didn't even last a minute. Emma and Paige got buried. I'm not mad. I'm mad at the fact that look here. Despite how a lot of you think about Emma with her whole dancing gimmick, Emma is fucking talented. And so is Paige. Those two women are perhaps the most skilled wrestlers, females, in the entire main roster of the Divas division. Both NXT vets. And last year, they put on a clinic for the NXT Women's title last year at the first NXT TakeOver. And put in a job to these two women. Now, I'm not going to say that the Bella Twins are terrible. They've gotten better. The problem is, they're still nowhere near the level of skill that Paige and Emma are. And that's a crime. Wade Barrett also wrestled tonight, facing against Dolph Ziggler. For some reason, R-Truth was out there. R-Truth, you haven't been important since you were Crazy. I want Crazy Truth back. The one who dressed as a Confederate general. That was one of the most incredible what the fuck moments in professional wrestling. It was so crazy and unbelievable that it was awesome. But yeah, Barrett is still sans belt because Dean Ambrose took it, and then Dean Ambrose is awesome. I have expected Dean to appear on camera with the belt, feeding it baby food a la Peter Griffin from Family Guy. Eat up in a Continental title. You need to keep your strength up. Eat up. No! That's a bad U.S. title. trying to steal Intercontinental titles, Fu. No. You had yours. But yeah, the match ended with Barrett losing to Ziggler. I love Wade Barrett, I honestly do, but he is being booked as a total bitch. He's almost Chavo Guerrero levels of bitchdom. But we were all saved with Dean Ambrose coming out, being Dean Ambrose, flashing the belt around that, well, some people say he didn't win the belt, but I say he won it by NXT rules, because Kevin Owens beat the shit out of Sami Zayn, and he got the belt. Dean Ambrose just did the same. What else? Let's see, what else did they do? I'm trying to remember. Roman Reigns comes out and cuts a small promo, and then we begins what I call the dick sucking of Roman Reigns, because obviously they are aware that Roman Reigns cannot cut a promo to save his life. So they had Daniel Bryan come out, pretty much say all what we were thinking about him, but then flip that around and just started sucking his dick, saying he was an incredible athlete. The commentators were talking about their main event match. Look here. If you believe that match was one of the best matches you'll ever see, you need your eyes checked. I'm not saying it was shitty. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying it was shitty. I'm just saying that Daniel Bryan carried that match. And if you don't believe me, if you're saying bullshit on that, then something is wrong with you. You need to stop watching wrestling. Then Paul Heyman comes out, does his best to build up Roman Reigns, and tell him that he's impressive, that if he fought any other man, he put money on him. And he started naming off legends like Bruno Sammartino, like Andre the Giant, like The Rock, like Hulk Hogan, Macho Man Randy Savage, Stone Cold Steve Austin. And you could tell, and not even Paul Heyman, as much as I love him, couldn't make me believe half the bullshit he was saying about Roman Reigns. Because we know if Andre the Giant fought Roman Reigns, Andre would fold him up like an old wallet. I'm sorry, but that's the truth. So this is a theme of tonight. The theme is carry Roman Reigns. I have, like someone else mentioned, I half expect them to be carrying him, to have Hulk Hogan, Stone Cold Steve Austin, The Rock, Triple H, Shawn Michaels, and about half a dozen other Hall of Famers just carry him to the ring with signs that said, Roman Reigns rules. Yeah, you're not doing a good job of convincing me that Roman Reigns is a match for the one-man crime spree, the man who was beyond, the man who was above God, the final boss, the breaker of worlds, the destroyer of hope, the Minnesota murder machine, the living death sentence, the walking genocide, the killer of hope, the unwinged angel, the destroyer of gods, the annihilator of myths, Brock Lesnar. You haven't made me believe that. 5 weeks. 5 weeks to convince me, WWE. The Masters of the Universe and the Usos had a rematch for their title match last night. It was a pretty good match until there was some shenanigans outside. The big news of this is, even though the Masters retained via disqualification, it seemed like Natty suffered an injury when with Naomi just came out and just kind of swept her leg from when she was on the apron, and she kind of landed wrong, and you could see that even though she tried to shrug it off, she was in a lot of pain. Like when you hurt yourself, but you don't want to see people hurt yourself, you're like, oh, I'm okay. Yeah, she was hurting. So hopefully it's nothing too serious. Natty is one of the fewer talented ones on the main roster, but yeah. Let's see. The Ascension wrestled against the reunited primetime players. And for the first time ever, JBL actually put them over. I mean, you'll notice that ever since the Ascension came up to the main roster, JBL has been burying them ever since. And a lot of people don't understand why the Ascension are considered awesome by a lot of NXT fans, because they're booking them wrong. They need to stop doing these stupid-ass promos of them comparing themselves to other past tag teams. That's not what they were about. In NXT, they were just dark gothic dudes who beat ass. But it's also kind of ironic that the first time that JBL actually starts endorsing them and mentions that they have been undefeated, they lose. It makes me almost cry when the day comes that the Vaudevillains get called up. Or hell, it makes me fear for Adrian Neville when he gets called up. Mighty Mouse indeed. What other crap did we force to watch? There's not much. There's not much for me to say. The main event between Orton, Rollins versus Reigns and Bryan was okay. Once again, Reigns had to be carried in this match. He did okay when the hot tags came, but when you're in the ring with three very talented in-ring competitors, it just makes him seem so blah. Like he's just so average. At the end, Randy just kind of gets a blind tag from Seth and gets pissy, like, I'm sick of this guy fucking with me. Fuck him. And Seth eats a Superman punch. He was about to get speared when Roman Reigns gets blind tagged by Daniel Bryan, who hits him with the Flying Kick, aka the Cena Killer. 1, 2, 3. The faces win. This was a match that Roman Reigns needed to win to look strong. I mean, there's so many jokes about him looking strong, but he hasn't really looked strong, so I don't know. Then Randy Orton comes in and starts doing some shit where he RKOs I think it was Joey Mercury. It looks like he's gonna beat the shit out of Seth Rollins, but then just says, "Hey, great match," and just leaves. And Rollins has this look on his face. Have any of you ever watched the movie New Jack City starring Ice-T and Wesley Snipes? It has Chris Rock in it as a crackhead named Smokey, and the very last words he said in that movie before he was killed kind of reminds me of the look that Seth Rollins had on his face when Randy Orton left. He says, "Help me! They're gonna kill me! I'm gonna die!" That's how he looked. He looked like, oh my God, he's gonna kill me. That's what you get for calling him family. Did you forget that Randy Orton is the same guy who said he would punt his grandmother in the skull to keep the world heavyweight title? And you actually want to call him family? The fuck is wrong with you, Seth Rollins? Yeah. Oh, just a reminder. Did you know that Seth Rollins is the architect? It's true. Look it up. But anyway, that was Raw. It was an okay Raw. It showed a lot of backlash from Fastlane, and also built up to WrestleMania. And I also forgot to mention, John Cena got humbled tonight. He was all piss and vinegar like, America, I'm gonna beat you. You a joke. I'm gonna beat you, and I'm doing it for America. Look, John, 6 other guys said the exact same shit you were saying. Rusev beat the shit out of them, and Rusev beat the shit out of you last night. And he's like, I want you at WrestleMania, Rusev. Like, why? I've already crushed you. I broke you. You don't deserve it. Fuck you. Flag. John Cena just looked like, well, never give hustle loyalty you can't see. Yeah, John, you got humbled. As the Iron Sheik would say, you got humbled. He fucked your ass, make you humbled. But yeah, this was a decent Raw. Not the best, but it's a blowback show. So what do you expect? So, that was my thoughts. Tune in next time as I'll present you with a special treat. My first ever video reviewing Lucha Underground. That's right. I haven't talked about Lucha Underground, but I figured I was due. So, until next time, this is shintigercurl, that dude in the straw hat, saying good night, and Cena got humbled.